I saw a TikTok showing some WWE comparisons with sports athletes, and the one that got me the most was the one between Finn Balor and Derrick Rose. It shows Finn Balor winning the World Championship after joining the main roster for only a month, and then you have Derrick Rose when he became the youngest MVP of all time after being in the league for only a few years. It looks like Finn Balor and Derrick Rose were going to become the next big thing. That was until they both suffered their injuries at the worst time possible. Finn Balor tore his shoulder the night that he won the title, forcing him to give up that belt the next day. As for Derrick Rose, he tore his ACL a year after winning the MVP award, and both men would return, but they were never the same. They were supposed to be the future. However, that got cut short. Finn Balor and Derrick Rose would go on to have decent careers, but they never returned to that peak that they were at before. And it honestly looks like Finn Balor won't ever win another world title, while D Rose will probably retire without a ring. They will forever be the biggest what ifs in WWE and NBA history. It begs the question, would Finn Balor be the WWE champion or have maybe 6 or 7 title reigns? And as for Derrick Rose, was he going to become the face of the NBA, taking that crown from LeBron James? I guess we'll never know. The next comparison is between Seth Rollins and Kevin Durant. I think the best way to describe these two would be selling out and betraying their family. Seth Rollins did it in 2014 when he stabbed his brothers in the back with a chair, and Kevin Durant did it when he pulled off the weakest move in professional sports history by leaving the Thunder to join the Warriors, who had just beaten them and also had a record that was the best NBA team of all time with 73 wins and 9 losses. Kevin Durant essentially got to ruin the league, and Seth Rollins ruined the Shield. Despite this, they both won a championship at the end of the day. Seth Rollins won after cashing in at WrestleMania 31, and KD would win the first year in Golden State, taking on LeBron and the Cavs. Were the championships really worth it at the end of the day? They destroyed relationships and friendships that would never, ever recover. Another great comparison is the tribal chief Roman Reigns and the king LeBron James. The caption for this one says, "They hate my dominance, but they will miss me when I'm gone." This is because Roman Reigns has essentially dominated the WWE for the last decade. He's been the guy, and he took his dominance to another level when he became the tribal chief in 2020. Meanwhile, LeBron's been dominating the NBA for the last 20 years, something we've never seen before. He's so dominant that literally he's been destroying father and son duos. That's longevity and consistency that we'll never see again in the history of any sport, in my opinion. With that being said, this dominance by both men have led to some people hating on them, wanting them to retire and just get away, and people are sick and tired of seeing the same person win and staying on top. I do think though, when it's all said and done though, people will miss Roman Reigns and LeBron James when they do retire. That is something that's going to hit real hard once it happens, so I say you should try to appreciate them while they're still here.
Acknowledge me!
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup, oh, blocked by James! LeBron James with the rejection!
I gave everything that I had. I poured my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this game, and against all odds, and Cleveland, this is for you! Oh!
Next up is a comparison between Dean Ambrose and Russell Westbrook. The caption says, "I got stabbed in the back, but I made sure I got back up stronger." This one gets me too because of how hard they took the stabbing in the back. This is Dean Ambrose's reaction after Seth Rollins stabbed Roman in the back. He's in utter disbelief. Ambrose never knew that his brother was capable of doing something so evil. The same applies to Russell Westbrook, who was abandoned by his brother. Kevin Durant signing with the Warriors destroyed Russell Westbrook the most. It's evident, as you can see from these interactions, where Westbrook just wanted to fight nonstop. A piece of Ambrose and Westbrook died that day, unfortunately. Despite this, they still worked hard to come back stronger than ever, and this led to Dean Ambrose winning the WWE title. As for Westbrook, he would win the MVP award, and it's like what they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. After that, we have this comparison. It's Randy Orton and Aaron Rodgers with a caption saying, "I don't know how much time I got left in me." This is one of the best comparisons. Randy Orton and Aaron Rodgers have had some of the best careers in WWE and the NFL. They made a mark in the sports. Unfortunately, their amazing careers are coming to an end. It's also interesting that they both suffered very serious injuries that kept them on the shelf for some time recently. Randy Orton injured his back while Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. These are injuries that would have sent athletes their age into retirement. However, they both persevered and came back stronger for the love of the game. The only problem is that we don't know when they'll be gone, so we gotta appreciate them in the meantime. Shinsuke Nakamura and James Harden is a perfect comparison with this caption that says, "I had all the talent but never won the big one." This is perfect because everyone expected these two to win multiple championships. Shinsuke Nakamura was one of the biggest things in New Japan. Triple H was even booking this guy to win the NXT title just after a couple of months. He was going to be the next big thing in the WWE. James Harden, on the other end, took the Rockets to new heights, even having the best record in the NBA. Both were so close. Shinsuke Nakamura was seconds away from beating AJ Styles for the championship at WrestleMania, and James Harden was one game away from taking down the overpowered Golden State Warriors. Both the guys had one big obstacle. Shinsuke had Vince McMahon, who clearly didn't like him, and Harden, as I just said, had the Golden State Warriors. Unfortunately, they both failed to win the big one, and it looks like they never will. LA Knight and Demar Derozan share a similar career. This caption says, "We were born in the wrong era," and this is true considering that LA Knight would have thrived in the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era because of his powerful mic skills. On top of that, he's at a peak at a time where you have so many other guys taking over the main event spot like Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and now even Jacob Fatu. DeMar DeRozan was also born in the wrong era. With this mid-range game, he could have easily had a championship in the 90s or the 2000s when everyone else had a mid-range game. You can't really do too much when you have all the talent in the world for the wrong era. The next comparison is John Cena and Tom Brady with the caption that says, "I was too great at what I do. Everyone started hating me." This perfectly explains these two. John Cena dominated the WWE. Tom Brady dominated the NFL. As a result, people were sick of them. They were basically beating everyone's favorite wrestler or their team too much, and that's what happens when you're an all-time great. You can never avoid the hate that comes with excellence. I love this comparison between Drew McIntyre and Jaylen Brunson that says they all doubted us, but look at us now. It's a great comparison because WWE released Drew McIntyre thinking that he wasn't talented and he was not capable of being a superstar or world champion. The same applies with Jaylen Brunson, who the Mavs could have signed for a cheap deal of $12 million a year. They moved on to new places to prove that they can be stars, and they did. At the end of the day, even when nobody's believing in you, all you gotta do is believe in yourself. After that, we have a comparison between Kofi Kingston and Dirk Nowitzki with a caption saying, "We may have won one title, but man, that run was legendary." Let's face it, Kofi and Dirk winning the big one are some of the most feel-good stories of all time. Kofi Mania was not supposed to happen. After a decade, Kingston was a mediocrity, but he won at the end of the day. The same with Dirk and the Mavs. They were not supposed to be the big three. However, they both kept trying, and they both finally did it. Kofi won at WrestleMania 35, and the Mavericks shocked the world to defeat the Heat. These wins prove that you should never say never. And the last comparison is between CM Punk and Steph Curry. The caption is kind of sad. It says, "I don't know if I'll ever be able to make it to the top again. This one hurts." CM Punk and Steph Curry are GOATs. And with every GOAT in the game, Father Time seems to be kicking their ass. CM Punk's return to WWE has been rough. He had a lot of potential to finally main event WrestleMania, but then he got hurt. As for Curry, he didn't even make the playoffs this year either. Things are looking rough for these GOATs. Will they ever make it back to the top, or has their time passed? I guess we'll find out later on next year. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.